The lecture will be streamed on the Facebook and the Vigilance West Asia Vigilance Center web page.
شوفي هو هذا حتى السلات فاضلة.
Dr. Jen, can we start, please?
Okay.
Okay. Then let me,
Okay.
at the name of all participants, welcome Dr. Tian Jen from the Regional Center for Space Sciences and Technology Education for Asia and Pacific from China. Professor Jen is the Assistant Dean of School of Electronic and Information Technology. You are welcome to this lecture. Please.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So we will continue our lectures on the GNSS applications. So last time we have talked about the high precision applications. Especially want to talk a very recent event that is in yesterday. Here in yesterday, we have you know the measurement of the height of the Mount Everest. There were a group of Chinese climbers that come to the top of the mountain. So how do they make measurement of the height of the Mount Everest? Just now they have published some photos. Okay, I will share these photos because it's very interesting. So let's look for the photos. First, you see on the right one, so can you guess what's this one? What's this one? This one. What's in his hand? Actually, they carry up a lot of equipment. Okay, So what this one? Actually, this is a GNSS antenna. Okay, antenna. You can see on his hand, he just put the antenna to the top of the mountain. Okay, and from here, it's interesting here from this is number 1. Okay, number 2, I just make mark, and number 3. So what these 3 things? And this is GNSS receiver. Okay, so by using this technology, probably I think you know how are they measure the height of the mountain. Actually, it's by GNSS technologies. So actually, because they must, I think, trust the performance of many receivers in case of in that situation, maybe one receiver has problem or make a backup. So actually, they put 3 receivers on the roof. Okay, but you see here, it's only 1 cable. Okay, this is only 1 cable. It's only 1 cable. So they use a splitter. This is called splitter. Sorry. Splitter. This one. This is one can come in and put this one to 3 receiver, and then let them work. I think so. So that is they make the device and make the measurement on the height of the mountain averages. Okay, so maybe they, I think about 1 hour to the stationary measurements. So they put the GNSS receiver and GNSS antenna on the top of the roof and to check the height of the mountain. And I think this is a very typical applications of the high precision GNSS because we use it almost everywhere to have very high results. I think it's told that the results will, I think, be published about maybe 2 or 3 months later, because they need to put the equipment and data down, and then they will use it to calculation, to calibrate, and give you a final result. Okay, this is happened in I think yesterday. They climbed to the top of the mountain. Okay, so let's turn back to the main topics. So the third topic I want to mention in the GNSS applications is about the traffic and fleet management. It's a very big topic. Okay, so typically in Chinese mainland, the traffic management was actually mainly based on the GNSS technologies. So, for example, the dangerous cargo vehicles, include the carrier, maybe the dangerous cargoes, oil or whatever, the explosion, so something like that, the chemical materials, all these kind of cars will be registered, and they put all the information in a system which is controlled by the Ministry of Transportation. On the, I think the government will be able to look at these pictures. They will show which car, with each car information, if you want to show some information, and the vehicle's position, the speed, the fuel consumption, and a lot of things. For example, the videos of actually the pictures of the driver and the routines, and all the information can be found in the system. We have told that they have not only the dangerous cargo vehicles, the passenger bus, and others. I think currently they are trying to cover the heavy trucks, or put them into the monitoring systems. Okay, so this is the traffic management system. So by using this information, the government, the companies will know all the cars' information. Actually, by using this kind of system, I think it's very good, because not only they reduce the traffic accident, but also it makes the companies or government to know the detailed information of each car. For example, how to let them to drive, how to sell oil. And there's some driving actions is too dangerous. They can know all this information. So there's the traffic fleet management. Okay, so by this kind of information, we'll track any cars, any buses, they are at what kind of position, and also a system has a call center and to make service for the user. Not only for the position service, but also they can put a lot of add-in service to the system. For example, they can share the information with the oil companies, with some companies along the roads to give the driver recommendation of how, if for example, you can have discount oil with cooperate stations, you can have discount product with some stores or supermarket along the roads. They always come. For example, it's a scheduled bus, we can put a lot of adding service. You know, the company that operate the system, they actually don't pay much more on the platform, but also they gain a lot of money by put the add-in service. For example, repair car, the oil station, etc. They just put a lot of add-in service, not only to let the driver to pay for the system. No, they let them to pay for the system, but always give them a lot of refund by the adding service. And so and that makes the driver like to join the system. First, it must be monitored. The second, it gives them a lot of adding service. Okay, also the traffic and fleet management was deployed not only in the vehicle navigation, but also in the port operation, in the harbor operation. You know, there was a lot of ports in China has very big, very big the cargo exchange. But this kind of port actually currently is automatically the vehicles, the trunks in the port, they're automatically navigated and routine on the port. So that is the traffic and fleet management. So the cars, the cargos, they can be scheduled and on the routine unmanned on the routines without being interrupted. So give very high efficiency and performance. So it's kind of the traffic fleet management of the system. Also, for example, here, currently in the industry, transportation industry, we have mentioned about more than 6 million commercial vehicles with Bado compatible terminals connected to the national platform. According to the statistics, I have said again that about 50%, right? About 50%, yeah, 50% and 51% of the serious accident and death reduced due to this system. So I take a picture of this platform. This is about let me see, here is about 3.7 million cars. They are mounted, so you can select it, for example, to look into each province. And here, this is the monitor. They will tell you the driver is in yellow or red. So maybe they have overspeed, maybe they have what problem. So they will automatically pop up to warn the government and warn the driver. For example, they overspeed, they don't rest for a very long time. So they gave the government or companies that were completely dynamic monitoring and management system for all the cars that was tested and reviewed and by the data asset and management and assessment. can be established. So that greatly reduce the accidents in China mainland. And the monitoring system has effectively strengthened the monitoring efficiency to the commercial vehicles to improve the safety on the transportation. But this only for I think three types, mainly three types: dangerous cargo, heavy trunks, and the scheduled passenger buses. But for personal cars, they don't monitor. But only that was heavy trunk, dangerous cargo that be
There is an malfunction in the internet from Professor Tian's side. Please be patient. Just a minute. He will reconnect. Please wait while Dr. Tian reconnects again. He is coming back. Yes, Dr. Tian. While Dr. Tian connecting, I would ask you if you have any question, write it in the chat, or you can raise your hands to ask questions. Dr. Tian, please.
Okay. Can you hear me? Is that okay now? Okay. Okay. So we'll continue. So if you have questions, you can leave in the chat, or tell me. So for the fleet management, we use the Bado features for position report and short message and lane level navigations. It will be very efficient fleet management and the logistic management to build across the countries. For example, in the car, for the Uber, maybe American or maybe in maybe Arabic countries we use Uber, but in China we have a lot of many, I think, Uber-like applications. They just do taxi management. Also, the Bado fishery boat management system over a rapid position and manager monitor for the fisher boat. As I've said, that more than 70,000 fishing boat has been equipped with the Bado satellite navigation terminals. Okay, so you can see from this picture, you may find that almost here. Let me see here. Where is it? Yeah, here. Yeah, here. Okay, you may see all this fishery boat will be monitored by the corresponding ministry. So they were you can easily to see which ship is at what kind of position, and I may say this is the border. This is the border. We just take care of the border. No ship will cross this border. Also, the Bado system can provide the Bado and internet and e-commerce, so that provided the e-market over the seas. So when the ship is outside, fisher ship is outside, and they can build an e-commerce systems, because when they have enough fish, they can pre-tell the markets how much the kind of fish, how many amount they have, to let them to be early prepared, for them to prepare the amount of material, or maybe storage capacities or whatever. They just tell them early to make preparations. So the Bado actually become, somebody say that the new godness for the fishermen. Somebody said that it's godness because they had them to have the link between the deep sea and the land, just by the Bado communication systems, the communication link, as well as Bado position system. But also in the traffic part, you know, the China and Europe has a railway express we call CR Express. So the CR Express was actually was established to efficiently enhance the transportation link between the China and the countries in Asia and Europe. So it's gradually become a viable alternative to the sea and air transportation, the railway express from China to the Europe, China to Europe. So the first China-Europe train route was launched in the July 2013, and about 5,000 trains has been dispatched, and about, I think, 3 to 4 of mainlands can enjoy the free Gauss service in about more than 100 cities in about 20 different countries. But the train is just the carrier. Actually, each the cargoes, so it has demand on the location-based service. So when the train was set up, actually the GNSS based and the management of the cargo was also established. It's used to tracking the logistics that across the border, and upgrade the transparency, and also improves the efficiency and the security of the transportation, and also provide the technical tools for better dispatchings. So this kind of the railway express. Okay, so actually we can have a detailed information about this one. So for example, this is the satellite. So in the train, each lockers, they have the terminals inside this locker because lockers terminal. So each train will here, and they will send the data by maybe second generation, third generation communication to the internet. They have the internet backbones, and then all the data will be shared with partners, and to tell them what kind of cargoes, the account information was in the train, and during the transportation, it has multi linguistics interface, and also it's adaptable to the mobile networks of multiple nations, and also the terminals is resistant to the harsh environments, and it provides real-time tracking of each lockers, and it also can intelligent dispatching of the containers to give them all the information of where your cargo is, and it is to what stage. So all the information is very clear. So during the China-Europe Railway Express, okay, it's all the cargos actually is by the GNSS technologies to make the traffic and the fleet management. So okay, by this kind of technologies, let me see, when the log is here is sealed and also with position information. So there will be no accident, well, because it's sealed, and also with the GNSS information. So the system can automatically switching between multiple communication systems and adopted to the mobile networks for more than 200 countries. And it's especially custom the receiving antennas to compatible to the GNSS and the mobile systems. So it's controllable to remote unlocking methodologies, and in the system they can provide very long term of power supply to up to about 50 days that the lockers can put in it. Also, by using the system, we'll introduce about applications of the Bado cloud platform. So it's a terminals by used for the China European Railway Express project. So I just give you an example. For example, there was a more than I think about 100,000 of installation of the Bado and the GNSS terminals for the railway project. So it generated revenues of over about 10 billion RMB of the revenues, I think corresponding to about $1 billion US. So actually, if your cargoes, for example, the current routing from Xi'an, this is at Xi'an, China, and Kazakhstan, and Russian, Poland, and German onto this way. Okay, during each state, all the cargoes, all the locker, all the containers, their status is automatically reported along the road, and this make insurance of the cargoes, the status of the cargoes, the status of the containers, and status of the train will be when they pass through any position. The GNSS technologies will help you to make a monitor of all the cargoes in the ships. For example, you pass here, there will be a lot of information, and if you come to here, there will be a lot of information. So they will automatically send all this information to user, and by using these platforms, if the train goes this way and to the destination, all along the world, all the system, all the lockers, all the containers will be monitored and reported real time. Status can be viewed from the user's terminal. And so we call it it's a Bado cloud platforms to gather all the cargo's information. And about the fourth part I will talk is about public security. So it's also widely used. The GNSS technology is widely used in this area. So the public security, I think it's include the advanced and reliable police mobile terminals to help and improve the quality of the policeman's working and efficiency. And all the police terminal, they have the Bado and the GNSS capability. Actually, it's very important applications in China, and especially for Chinese satellite navigation industry. So, you know, for example, every policeman, they have a terminal device by the GNSS supported. So this is what the GNSS can contribute to the public security. So for example, the policeman's equipment, they have embedded software which customized for policing need. but it's embedded with the JIT function. They have the data input, output, and data display, and also it has satellite position function, include the navigation and the position technologies. And when the system is using it connected to mobile internet function, as well as because for data transmission, to ensure that the data transmission between the terminal equipment and to another and the commander centers. So it also can provide the navigation, scheduling, conductor, and distributed integration information platforms. So okay, we will see the next is about in the public securities is called disaster prevention and relief. So actually all the police work they have from the terminals level. At terminals level, they have some handheld terminals. Also, we have the cameras. They have the fingerprint. They have the batteries. And together, they was called mobile police terminals. And then the terminals can run a lot of applications. So it's a professional application platform for the users, and then all this application will transmit signal back. All the information will transmit back to the headquarters. So they will have integrated information to the commander. So actually, the integrated police information solution, it's provided a role called situation service based on Bado navigation and short message for emergency communication, and also for common commercial mobile communication. And Bado communication is only for emergency case, and also it has satellite positioning, about map navigation, and the tracking, recording, and control, and the mobile command. So the public security solution enables the high efficient mobile police task through integrity of the terminal application and task. So it enables the police to work maybe from indoor to outside, and also with audio and video, with vertical to linkage, maybe from multi-level to flat. It provides more active in the comprehensive police work and anti-terrorism securities parts. So I give you example. One, some police, it's a true story that some police for the anti-terrorism, they find some terrorisms, but when they want to catch them in a deep mountain and deep forest, but they want to use cell phone to make reports, but actually there was no signal. But then at that time, finally they use the Bado terminals to send the information back to the headquarters and get reinforcement. Finally, they got complete victories. It's a typical applications. So actually, by that case, the Bado short message is provided for the emergency communication in the system. It's because it provides the redundancy and the backup communication channel for the policeman. Also, this is the pictures of the device. Okay, it's jointly promoted by the Cyberspace Administration of China and the National Development of the Reform Commission and the Ministry of Science and Technology and the Ministry of Industry and Information Technologies. They have jointly pushed forward the applications. So since about 2016, so the Bado applications has made very great achievements and progressively enhanced in the industry. So all the applications for the policemen, for the forest, fishery, and disaster preventations, they make a series of demonstration programs to show how can Bado system be applied in our social lives. Okay, so this is for public secretary. And for public safety industry, there was 3-level location resource management system was established based on the location and the resourcing, scheduling capacities, and cross-region and interdepartmental functionality. So currently, more than about 400,000 police position information and terminals has been accessed. And the Bado location service, they provide with real-time information and perform rapid temporary grouping in the map. So according to the statistics, by using this system, the police time, the deployment of the policemen, the time of the deployments, it has reduced about nearly 20% because it's very easy to find where is nearby policeman. Also, it solved the problem of the slow job expectation when dealing with a large task as massive incident. By using one-click report, so and the name calling function, the time corresponding for the time for the 100 or more police officers has been reduced about 97%. So it significantly improves the efficiency of the command and dispatch. So I think a lot of foreign students in China has maybe some on the roads, the policeman will check for your ID randomly, but they just get this information and send the information back to the headquarters very quickly by the handheld terminals. And they will give you position, your information, and the policeman's information, and share them together, so that the commander be very easy to dispatch the tasks more quickly. And also for public security, the Chinese government has set up a national disaster relief resource monitoring system. Okay, by using the Bado navigation satellite navigation system, the disaster report app is seamlessly integrated to the national natural disaster information management system, and the Bado short message function may be used for automatically reporting location, loss, relief situation in the disaster field. And the disaster managers departments at all levels are using the Bado terminals to manage and monitor on their own relief material, which significantly improves the management transportation operation on the national level relief material. So for example, as currently it has deployed on the minister and provide the permission level. Currently there's about 6 level of disaster relief operations, and more than about 405,000 million terminals has been distributed to all levels of the disaster management department. Okay, that's the pictures shows on the national-wide. You may see each point is actually is a monitoring system station. So each point on the right of the map here. So here each point on the map here will show you for each place, each dot is a system providing resources and monitor data, and they will gather all the information to the national-wide about probably there were, if there was any disaster, earthquake, whatever, they will gather information and report to the current stage. Okay, the fifth part of the Bado and GS application is we call a machine control and precision agriculture. I think this is a very interesting part. Okay, actually, the machine control actually is very popular. It's very popular. But if you want to use a high level, high performance machine control, then you can aided by GNSS technologies. It will be significantly improved the training quality when the GNSS center can provide the data. The performance will be much more improved. So because, as we said, the GNSS can provide very high accuracy. So then it also let the trainees can be evaluated in very high and precise standard, especially for military and police customers. And because the GNSS is very easy to install, and it's with great efficient and with very low cost, so it's very easy for examiners to take decisions, and the results will be very easy, and working at 24 hours and with all weather. So by using the machine control by the GNSS technologies, it will improve the performance of the machine control. For example, we just give an example for a new driver test. I think I don't know how old when you get license to drive a car, but in China, if you want to drive car, you at least to be 16 years old, and after you learned how to drive a car in a commercial companies, you cannot say, okay, I learned by myself and the make test. No, you must buy an authorized companies starting in there, and then after that you need to pass the exam, we call the new driver test, to get the license. The new driver test including you need to drive with them a specific roads. For example, you need to drive on an S curve. You need to stop a specific position. You need to speed up at how much the distance vectors. But traditional, as I first learned the license of the driving car in about near 20 years early. All the tests is, I think, manually assessment. So I think there was a police officer sit nearby you, and he's looking how you're driving. He said, okay, you pass, okay, you failed, like that way. But now in China, when you make the driving test, actually there was no policeman currently in your car. Actually, all the tests currently is automatically, because for example, they have this is the experiments car test, and they were by the GNSS receiver were installed on each car, and they were sending the information back to the base station, and then there was a server to calculate your result, whether the result is good or not. So it's automatically test your driver performance. It's on machine control. Let's show let's show for this case. For example, let's here in the car they have antenna 1 and antenna 2 put on the car. For example, in the case you will see here antennas. There are antennas means antennas. You to put antenna on the car, and by using these two antennas, they connected to a device. The device has the radio. They were sending out the information, and then your car's information, your directions, your positions will be displayed on the screen For example, if we want your car to park at this area, okay, there will no police officer sit on your car. The officer just look at the screen, and the computer will automatically calculate whether you parked well or park at a bad position. If everything is fine, said okay, you can drive, you can make a test, you can stop, you fail the exam actually automatically. So you cannot just give some money to the officer. Oh, sorry, let me pass. Not possible, because all the data is recorded automatically in the server, and everybody, if you want to replay, you can reload the data. So all the driving test cars has installed with the GNSS technologies, and all the tests all the drivers are examined by machine, not by the human beings now. There's a current situation in China. The driving the car test, new driver test. And another part about the machine control is on the precision agriculture. Actually, the GNSS technologies can be used in the precision agriculture by machine control technologies. So by using the GNSS technologies, it will actually increase the efficiency, increase the productions, and also it will reduce the power consumption, reduce the environmental pollutions, and they will to ensure the sustainable development by the precision agriculture. So as for example, I think traditional precision agricultures, it's just human beings. They put the seeds and cultivate and so on. But currently, if you use machine to do agriculture, I think this is currently stage. But in China, in some place, the machines currently we call precision agriculture, and that means the machines can have the guidance and auto steering technologies. So they are using the GNSS technologies, and it can provide centimeter level path control, and also can repeatable working, include ridging, seeding, fertilizing, spraying, watering, harvest, etc. So that you just let the machine actually auto steering and unmanned machine do all the jobs for you. You don't do anything, just make plan, and everything will be done automatically. So I think this is the future of the agriculture. I think will be precision agriculture. Okay, so what's the time? So okay, shall we be a short break?
Yeah, you want to break? Then
yeah, we can have a break. So yeah, during the break, I can answer the question for the Q&A.
Yeah.
And for any questions, you can raise your hand and tell me. I will check the chart.
This is the first question. Is Bado's subset of GNSS? Bado's is a subset of GNSS or independent? Because I learned that GNSS encompass GPS and GLONASS.
Oh, good question. Actually, the GNSS is actually the combination of the satellite navigation system. Actually, there are 4 major providers. Okay, the first is the GPS from the United States and the GLONASS from Russia. And still more, it is included in the GNSS is the Bado from China and the Galileo from European Union. So actually, Bado is a subset of the GNSS. It is not independent. It is important part of the GNSS system.
As Bado's,
Okay. Okay, continue.
there's the same concept. They ask how many Bado's stationary in the route from China to Germany in the railways.
You know Bado satellite? I don't hear clearly.
It's in the chat. What is the distribution of GNSS along the railway path from China to Germany?
Actually, you mentioned the China European Railway train, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, the Bado is a satellite system that provides service, navigation service, such as similar as the GPS. But on the train, on the railway train, we put each container. There will be a Bado, actually, I think the GNSS receiver on the train to monitor the status of the container. Actually, it's not only a position, but also a communication terminal and a position terminal together. They integrated everything into a locker. And for example, if you find the container is damaged or with a problem, so you can easily to find the cargo lost or damaged very quickly because the train is very long. In case they have the problems, so it can be very easily to be reported by this status. As the document said, that currently on all the all the containers, they have currently deployed about 400,000 this kind of lockers. So it is a terminal. It is terminal, not satellite. About 400,000 terminal is the equipment on the railway on the railway the containers.
Yeah, we see that our respected Professor Ala al-Nahri from Egypt. Please, Dr. Ala.
Okay, good afternoon. Glad to see you. Do any questions?
Mr. Ala.
Hello, Smani?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, thank you for your high quality presentation. And as you know, as we all know, a constellation of 24 satellites is used to identify the position. I want to know how many satellites you use in your system, and in precision farming, accuracy has to be less than 2 meters. And I know that your system accuracy is about 2.5 meters. Can you increase the accuracy of your system to meet the requirements of precision farming?
Okay. First, I want to say all the precisions of the navigation satellite system is similar. Roughly, it's about 5 to 10 meters in accuracy on the official documents. So commonly you can say 2.5, but officially about 5 to 10 meters official. In some cases, maybe 2 or 3 meters is fine. This is for example, the normal users. For example, in the car, and for the human beings, for the PND, the portable navigation devices, commonly speak. But you can have the high precision applications to provide centimeter level accuracy. But this application, you need 2 things. First is you need a base station, we call it call station, or maybe correction station, to give you additional correction information to enhance the accuracy. This is the first. So for the precision agriculture, for the farming, you need to set up a local base station in nearby area to give you higher accuracy. And this is first. The second, if you want to use high precision applications, commonly it's need about 1 or 2 minutes to what we call to coverage, to let the accuracy to saturate on 1 or 2 centimeter. It's need time. But if you drive your car, if you want to open your device and to get the position very quickly, it is not possible for high precision users. Now for common users, you 5 or 10 meters, this case, you will get very quickly the results. But for the high precision, you need time to coverage, commonly about 1 or 2 minutes to make coverage. That's slightly different. So it can provide centimeter level accuracy for the precision agriculture and high precision applications. It just needs some preconditions.
Preconditions, yeah, but 5 meters is not acceptable.
Yeah, for precision farming, 5 meters is not acceptable. But for precision service, for example, 1 meter or 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter is good for the agriculture. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
There's many questions in the chat, please.
Okay, so I say there was there was actually the constellation of the GPS. The GNSS. Actually, we say there are 4 main providers. Remember, 4 main providers, 4 global providers. That is the GPS from US, Bado from China, Galileo from Europe Union, and GLONASS from Russia. And the 2 is called augmentation system. It's for regional augmentation. This is QZSS from Japan and NAV-IC from India. This is called augmentation system. So actually, the GPS also has augmentation system called WASP, and the Galileo and GLONASS also have augmentation system. It is the global class augment, but the Japan has not global system. It's only augmentation system. So actually, commonly the GNSS is 4 global constellation and several augmentation constellation. I think this is maybe this is better. I think. And also for someone who asked question. So for the railway station, actually there was actually no GNSS station. It's just for the GNSS terminal on the train. So along the train there was no GNSS station, only communication station, just for the mobile communication. And the next question is, is the precision agriculture used in China? I want to tell you, yes. In some place, for example, in Xinjiang province, I will say, maybe I have pictures for you a little bit later. In Xinjiang province and some other province, that is with very few men there, but very, very large land. So the precision agriculture is very welcomed in this province. It's very popular. I think I get the data. I will show you data a little bit later. It's a lot of how many devices, how many coverage. I will show you. How much accuracy can reach by machine control if no core station is needed? I think currently this question is very hard to answer, because if you want to do machine control, actually you need a core station. If without core station, then the accuracy of your equipment will be about 5 meter or maybe 10 meter in accuracy. So it's not good. It is not good for machine controls. So we prefer that you can use a call station for that. Currently, if with no call station, with no RTK methodology, we can use called the PBP. But the accuracy of the PBP, if no call station, I think the maximum accuracy is about 1 meter at maximum. If no call station is there, about around 1 meter. This is the maximum performance if using PBP technologies you can achieve. Yes. The next question. Okay.
Can we receive the Bado's signal in Jordan?
Yes. Yes. I give a picture. I think in previous lectures. What I want to tell you is yes. We have a GNSS center at Tunisia. So I come to Tunisia about 1 year early. There I see 1, 2, 3, probably about 10 Bado satellites above our head in Tunis. That is last year. This year, I think more satellites will be similar. I think in Jordan, because we don't make tests in Jordan, but I think it's similar.
Tariq Ajaj from Egypt asking, what's the distribution of Bado's satellites over the Middle East?
What is what?
The distribution of Bado's satellites over the Middle East.
In Middle East, actually Bado actually was a global constellations now, global constellations. So the distribution, I think, as our experience, commonly you can see at least about 10 to 8 satellites, at least, of Bado satellites. But I'm not sure because different countries have different distributions. But I personally, I think about 8 to 10 satellites at least.
Dr. Ali Al-Nahri wants to comment again. Please, Dr. Ala.
Yes. Yes. And what about using your global navigation satellite system in early warning system? Exactly, early warning system.
In every system, you mean has only one system?
Early warning system.
Early warning system. Okay, yeah. You mean for the slope prediction for early warning system like that?
Yeah.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Currently, there was a lot of, I think mainly for slope early warning systems in China. I just gave examples, I think, in the last lectures. We make prediction and before the collapse about 2 or 3 days early. So they make, I think, early warning to the, early warning to the villagers to let them to evacuate on time and no one injured. It's very popular in China.
Tariq Ajaj from Egypt again. Please, Dr. Tariq.
Yeah. Glad to hear you.
Dr. Tariq?
Yes, I can hear you. Dr. Allen? Yes, I can hear your voice.
Then Tariq Ajaj asked.
No.
Okay, so I will continue. Yeah. You can continue your question.
Yes. Thank you for the speech, for your presentation. I'm Tariq from Egypt.
Welcome. Okay, good afternoon.
I spoke about that if I have all the GPS equipment, can it be upgraded or upgrade the firmware to be able to receive the Bado satellite?
Oh, unfortunately not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the antenna, the front end, the baseband processing is different for the satellite systems. So commonly it's not possible by upgrading methodology. I think so. So you need to maybe buy a new one.
New antenna or new GPS? For both?
It's depend on your antenna. If your antenna supports all GNSS, then okay. If your antenna says own GPS only, so you need to upgrade the antenna, and as well as the baseband.
Okay, thank you.
And the Adamu Barlabs that asked a question about why the horizontal accuracy is always higher than the vertical accuracy in many GNSS constellations. That's true, because if you are here and all the satellite is above your head, so you can only get the measurements from only one direction, it is above your head. So there was no measurements beneath you. So that means you get only half observations. So that means you only get half information. So the accuracy in the horizontal, in the vertical will be bad than the accuracy in the horizontal, because in the horizontal you can get things from left, you can get satellite from right. By comparison, you can get the satellite from all around you. By using this information, so you can make average because there are more information. But if you get in the vertical part, you only get half information. So compared to the horizontal and vertical accuracy, the vertical one will be bad. It's not only it's all the GNSS has a similar problem. If you're using satellite, because you cannot get signal behind your foot, beneath your foot, no signal beneath your foot, only above your head. So only half information. From information of theory, there was a limitation.
Another question: how can we use GNSS application in the prediction of tectonic motion? Tectonic motion.
To take motion? To what?
Tectonic, maybe for the earthquakes and.
Could you repeat again for what? For the GNSS application for what?
Tectonic motion.
To what motion? Sorry, I don't hear clearly.
Tectonic.
Sorry, can you repeat for what?
Written in the chat, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Last question.
Sorry, I don't know this kind of information. Category. I'm not expert in this field, but I think it can. But I'm not sure about the detailed technology in the field, because I'm working in signal processing, not in the Earth observation. But I think it can, but I'm not sure the detailed technologies. I think it's similar to about slope monitoring, but I think will be quite complicated. I think so, but I'm not sure about that.
Then let's move to the next part of your lecture, please, if you want.
Yeah, you ask. I see the questions. Sorry, I just moved down. Yeah, I think it can, but I'm not sure about the detailed technology because I'm not working in these fields. Okay, any more questions? If no, we can continue.
At the end of the second part.
Okay, but oh yeah, part of the astronomy geodesy. I think yes, but I have to say, personally, I'm not working in these fields because the GNSS has a lot of very special and very interesting fields I've not covered, but because I'm sure I don't know everything. I know some parts. Thank you. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's continue for the precision agriculture. Okay, I'll show you some interesting. Okay, the concept of the precision agriculture is a kind of farming management, actually based on the observing, measuring, responding, and to the inter and intra fields variables in crops in order to improve the crop yields and reduce the environmental impact. So this is the basic concept of precision agriculture. So actually, if you want to do precision agriculture, you need a very high accuracy. Okay, so we very interesting for this picture. I think traditional in the traditional agriculture, I will show you. It's called physical labor. It's called version 1. So it's relay on the personal or physical labors and maybe animal labors. Okay, and then the second stage we think is called by machine. We call mechanization. Mechanization. So called version 2. So this is production can be made based on the mechanization and the mass product. You can use machine to solve this problem. And the third stage, I think, intelligent is called automation. Automation is version 3. Actually, we think currently, I think most countries, most of us is in this by machines. And I hope we can move to the automations here, version 3. It's called modern information technologies to control automatically driving, automatic steering can be applied to with local production automation. And we think in the next stage, I think in the future, not current, in the future, we can put everything in the Internet of Things. I think it's version 4, and it's intelligent agriculture, where we supply the Internet of Things with mobile internet and big data and cloud computing, all the technologies, information structure, information industry were put together. So currently in my slides, I will focus on this one, how to move from machine to some called precision agriculture. But I personally think in the next stage, we can combine everything. And now we focus on how by using the GNSS technology, we can make the agriculture to be automatic and to let the machine to be automatic. So actually the GNSS is a key technology of the precision agriculture. So we can have, for example, if we just use meter level accuracy, so it's for fleet management. You can like the driver, the equipment to a fleet to checking everything. But if you have the decimal meter, so you can have the information collection. You can gather the information of your crops. If your accuracy is at decimal meters, and if you centimeter level, you can have the vertical steering. And if you have vertical, because as you said, the vertical accuracy is a little bit bad. So if it's centimeter in the vertical level, it can better for land leveling, for a deeper tillage, etc. So that means if you can have the GNSS technologies, or maybe by augmentation satellite, or maybe by remote sensing satellite, mainly from GNSS technologies, if you can increase the accuracy of the system, so it will be benefit for the precision agriculture. And if you're using the GNSS, I think we can have the enhancement in the following 4 parts. The first is called automatic steering. I will show you the pictures. So I just to look this one. So this is the Chinese made the auto steering machine. It has a controller here. It has a display here and antennas on the top of the car, and also automatic control and the sensors in different places. And by using this software, you can make plan, route plan to where is it, and then, for example, this driver actually is a very good driver, but the red flag, how many red flag means he's a very good driver. But when he install the driving system, the automatic driving system, it find actually early time they just focus on driving, but now they just let them to automatically drive. You can see this picture. So you can see this is in very large area. This cars will, and this machine will automatically driving according to a route plan. They can do them by themselves. What the people do is just follow this car to track everything. So it will reduce the labor costs and improve the operational quality and improve the working efficiency and expanding working time. You have just maybe one people to just set up the program and select the routes, make the plan of the routes, and after that everything will be done automatically. I've got another video to show you. This is by the foreigner, not from China. So the traditional driver, I think, look like this way. They need to drive the machines to step by step, take care of everything, to look. But if in automatic driving mode in future, maybe in future in Arab countries, but currently in China, this is our status. They just relax. They just do anything, read book, and maybe watch videos, take photos. What did they do just to do that? It's because over the machine will be automatically driven. You just do is to relax, to read newspapers, and machine will be drive automatically, or just keep rest. So I think this is the most interesting in future automatic steering. You just don't need to focus on the driving. You just focus on the things, pick up phone calls, whatever. So I think this is in the future. The farmers should like this way. Because the machine will do everything. You just do what things you want to do. Just relax, because everything will be planned. You pre-routine, pre-planned. I think it's very human. In China currently, for example, in Xinjiang province and some other province, there are lots of place has tried this kind of cultivating a precision agriculture mode, because they're very large areas for cotton and for a lot of other crops. During the time, they have automatically do everything by the machines. So as the companies that makes the device, they told me in the spring and in the autumn they are extremely busy because they need to do the technical support, to the farmers, because the farmers don't know the GNSS, they don't know the call station, they don't know everything. So they need is to do it by themselves. They need the technicians to give the support for them. This is the automated steering technologies. So they can do a lot of things. I will ignore. But during that time, you will see that everything can be done. You can sleep, even sleep. Okay, I think this is what the future the farmers will be. I can also give some examples. for the laser-based land leveling and for the GNSS-based land leveling. This is traditional. When the people, the farmers do the leveling, they need the laser. They need a laser-based laser. It is a laser-based technologies. They just monitor how much the land is leveling, and for now they just place a GNSS system on the device, equipment, and just do everything by the GNSS technologies. And also for the nutrition management, by using this way, when there was a sensors on the device, and after they move, they sweep across the soil, they can get the information of all the soil status. They will check the status. The sensors will get all the information. So then they will give them suggestion about how much the status of each block. They give a yield map and the top growth, and then they will use it for prescription map, and then the variety to cultivate, to nutrition management, to put how much you need for nutrition, how much you need for water. They make overall calculation, and this is for the top growth monitoring. And also, except for the machines, you can have the drones and the cameras and put it on the drones, and become a UAV, and then the UAV will sweep up all the your farms, your status, and get the results of each status to detect the plant population, okay, and get them get a visualization about which part is good, which part is bad, which part is perfect. You get the results of each area, and then to give the image of the crop growth, and then you can have, you don't need to work step by step. No, just make a UAV to scan and give you final results, and then you can do everything. You can by the GNSS technology, because the UAV with the GNSS installed on it, with the camera installed on it, after the UAV was landing, you can get the data about the crop growth status, and then everything will be fine. I think by using a kind of a modern intelligent agriculture
Dr. Jen? There's connection problem with Dr. Jen. It's just 1 minute, please. Dr. Jen is connecting again. Let me take the chance to announce that Dr. Jen will be with us on the 16th of June, maybe after 2 weeks or next week. I have to check. Yes, 16th of June, Dr. Jen will be with us in the GNSS reflection and its remote sensing application. And we have a workshop on the space law on the 15th of June. Then we have 15th of June, Dr. Asia, and 16th and 17th will be Dr. Tian Jen to continue with the GNSS reflection. And its remote sensing application. Sorry for inconvenience. Here is Dr. Jen gets back. Dr. Jen? Okay, we hear you. Please.
So
We still don't hear you, Dr. Jen. No, Dr. Jen, we don't hear you.
can you hear me? Can you hear me this time?
Yes, we hear you. Okay.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, let's continue. So in Chinese system, according to one cloud platform for agriculture, precision agricultures, currently we can have registered machines for about 20,000 registered machines, and the registered users for more than 25,000 users, and the operation is more than 6 million operation times, and the data is more than 38 terabytes, the data. So this is just one platform. Okay, it's provide a reliable agriculture machines big data architecture. So by using this platform, it can be monitor the working supervision with remote scheduling, with agriculture machinery position and tracking and management and operation and maintenance, and for information release and sharing. So for example, if you have a we call it intelligent machine for agriculture, then you can share with each other. If anyone needs, they just call you and you come to that place to help them to do the smart cultivating, something like that. So it's just a cloud service for agriculture, but it's only one platform. There are many such kind of platform in China. Let's show some pictures. Also, it's a kind of applications this is the mainly pictures. For example, in the machine management, in the plan, the route plans of the geographic machine information, and this is the videos shows the machines in the Shanxi province. They got which province they have, how many machines in this province, and in each cities how many machines they have, where is it working, and if you request, they will schedule a machine for you. And also this is for Unistrong, and they also have the big data systems to sharing all the machines manufactured by Unistrong. They share the resources from the machines. So by the deep mining the agri machine big data, you can provide the value added service, which to support the government and enterprises on the policy and strategies, and accelerate the agricultural machinery industry development. This is the information for the application of the agricultural big data. And we think the future values will be provided benefits for the government, for the manufacturing, for the corporation, and for the farmers. Both they will provide the future values for the precision agriculture. And the last part I will mention about how to use a GNSS for the coronavirus ID-19. The Chinese government has paid attention on this virus, and we also affected by this kind of virus. But you know, the GNSS pay a lot of efforts. What's the role in the GNSS we used in this prevention and control? I just emphasize the two things. The first is, I think everybody know that in Wuhan, in China, there was two hospitals we called Leishanshan and Huoshanshan Hospital, two hospitals. This hospital was very speedy, constructed. We just used about 10 days to set up a new hospital. Actually, I want to say that the high precision position equipment based on the GNSS and the Bado, they are in the construction. So most of the setting out survey on the construction of these two sites is completed at one time, which when the precise time for the rapid construction of the two hospitals. So with picture, you can see a lot of machine was working in the construction. But actually, you should know that before the construction, we have using the GNSS technologies. Before that, to survey, to set out by the GNSS, to set out survey on the construction site, to give them very high precision position to set. Then the construction can be done on this place very quickly. And the second, as I want to say, the GNSS is providing high precision PNT service in logistics. Actually, there are hundreds of about different UAV, but maybe several from 10 kilograms, maybe from 1.5 tons, heavy duty UAV. They in the epidemic areas to deliver the urgent machine and epidemic prevention materials to medical staff accurately by the Bado and the GNSS. Okay, all the kind of machine, the UAV was navigated by the GNSS technologies, and they can deliver the goods and product, because maybe some place the people cannot in, but the UAV can very quickly to settle out to carry the different the material to the destination very quickly. There were hundreds of them working in the front line of the COVID. And also it provides the SMS message for the transportation management. For example, if it's for the unmanned car, unmanned devices. For example, if you traditionally we use express, the people there were lots of people that will give you express if you order something in the network. Traditionally, there was a express man will deliver the goods from maybe the supermarket to you, but now they cannot come out. There were limitation, maybe lockdown, whatever. Now a lot of unmanned vehicles, they put the cargoes inside it and just driving across the street and to a destination, you just pick up it for the emerging object. So also in the national, they have the transportation network. It continuously push the epidemic information and recommendation driving and transportation info to more than 6 million connected vehicles through the Bado and the GNSS systems. So actually they distributed all the information very quickly, including the road information, the epidemic information to all the drivers. They provide the support. So this is the chief designer. This gentleman is the chief designer of the Bado system, and he said in the novel coronavirus phenomena, a special battle in China, like the Bado satellite system, as well as GNSS, was response very quickly and tried to integrate into the main battlefields of the epidemic prevention and control. So they provide, I think that the Bado provide huge effort to the different units to win the battle. So this is what we can do for the coronavirus prevention and control. Okay, so thanks for the attention, and we wish us a promising future. And at the last, I want to give a very brief, about 5 minutes, a very brief introduction about the education in our centers. A few minutes. So I will in the last I will give a very few things. I will sharing the screen again. So at the last, I will give the very brief introduction about the international education, the training of the Bado and the GNSS. So just currently, actually, we are the regional centers in Asia and Pacific, as well as we are also the international exchange and training center of the Bado satellite systems. Okay, so we have also different kinds of training programs with the short programs, medium programs, and the long programs, maybe from a few days to a few months or a few years. And especially for the long programs, we have special course started about GNSS, regarding to GNSS and the Bado, and you can get the degree after these programs. So the degree programs for example, as master degrees, we have the two stage. The first stage is course started in China for about 9 months, and then have including the fundamental courses and major courses and the pilot project. And for the second stage is for the thesis report. You can study maybe in China or maybe back to your own countries. You can have the advanced project and thesis preparation and defense, and then you will get a master degree in China. And for the GNSS examples, we have the GNSS courses, including the basic information about the GNSS, the GNSS reference, the principles, the navigations, and the receiver principles, the integrate systems, etc. And also we design the GNSS programs as we need a basic basis, with a general basis, and with professional skills, and also with applications of the big GNSS and the frontier technologies. And then we will have 3 months of the team project. After 6 months course study, you can have 3 months of the team project, and for the 12 months of the thesis. And currently, I just give the data of the number of the candidates of the GNSS degrees. Currently, we have about 20 to 40 master degrees students in our center, and this is mainly males. Also, we have short training program, for example, with ACTO, in Tunis. This is training in 2018 in Tunis. Also, we have trainings in 2019, and also this is the child by ACTOS. We have second GNSS short-term training in Sudan in the 2018 September. And also for other a lot of short training programs with Indonesia, Singapore, and Egypt, and also Nigeria, Morocco, etc. And also during the study in China, we have academic lectures and professional visits for the different Chinese space companies and the space institute with special visit. Okay, we have the capacities for a smart classroom and expression halls, and also we have the libraries, we have the classrooms, and the courseware and the tools corresponding and the teaching materials. And we have internet collaborations with, for example, with Jordan's UN centers, etc. And the most important thing is we also provide the GNSS degree for master and the PhD degree programs. The deadline, submission deadline will be every March. For example, now you can apply the program of the 2021, which will be started about at September 2021. The deadline will be at maybe March next year. The direction can be GNSS or remote sensing and the GIS and space law. And also we can provide scholarship, especially for Arabic students. Every year we can provide 5 Chinese government scholarships for Arabic countries. Okay, so that is the website and the email contact information of the programs. Okay, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Jen. It was a very wonderful lecture, and we are proud of your university. We wish we can receive you at our center, and we can study at your university also. If you have questions, please raise your hands or in the chat.
Yeah.
We have
sorry, I just re-log in, so I lost the previous chat message. So if you have new message, please write to me. Thank you.
No question while you are out. The first
okay, fine.
Question, he raised his hand, please. Faris?
Okay, so Faris, right? Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Professor Jen, for your very elaborate and informative lecture. And I'll just have a last question. in regards to the GNSS application to track coronavirus cases. Now, we know that this is it's very important, and it has shown really effective results in the efforts to contain the virus. But as you might know, that the problem with using GNSS application is the combination of data from various sources which are based on different technologies, for example, such as location data or communication data. Now, the question is here that, is there a central authority to coordinate and combine such data? This is the first question. And the second question is, to what extent can the risk of privacy infringement through the increased use of location-based services be reduced? Thank you very much.
I think I can only answer the first one, because for the privacy, I'm not sure about that, but I can give you a demonstration of what kind of applications we are currently use. For example, I gave you a very brief introduction about what China, we got something called green code. So what we are trying is to get a green code. For example, I will show you in the camera. Okay, for example, this is the green. This is my green code. Green. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You said that. So if you come to any place, you just show them the green code. Mm-hmm. Okay. So okay, you are safe. So how this green code is generated, I think it is very interesting. First, they use you must submit your ID number and your mobile number to the government. Then the government, I mean, this is not company, the government will check whether your ID has buy the train tickets, whether your cell phone number has come to other place, whether your ID has been checked in, for example, any hospital, and then they gather all the information together and generate a code for you. Yes. Okay, it's based on GNSS, based on communication data, you get lectures, all the information gathered by it, and then the general code. For example, you are code red, code yellow, or code green, you'll be general code for you. Yes. If I come out to another province, for example, another province, so if the province is there was many cases, then your code will change to green, or from green maybe to yellow, maybe to red. Then there will be warning. But I'm not sure because they don't know. They will be further investigated. I think it's a combination of information technologies, including the GNSS technologies, because your cell phone GNSS information is put in it. But for the privacy, so I'm not sure about the privacy, how to control the privacy, be balanced. It's the government's issue, not my issues about the privacy.
Yes, thank you very much for your answer, Doctor. Appreciate it.
Okay, welcome.
We have no more questions. While you are out, there's many thanks from all the participants for your lecture.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening.
If there is no question, I would like just to end up this nice presentation. Dr. Shian will appreciate it. As usual, it's a distinguished presentation and lecture. I must thank you on behalf of all attendees. And really, it's our great pleasure to see you always with us. I hope that next week, and I'm informing all the participants that next week we will have another GNSS reflections and its remote sensing. It is a 2 days presentation by Dr. Chian, and we are waiting you for this nice presentation. And thank you very much, Dr. Chian. Until that day, I wish you all the best, and my high gratitudes and thankful to you. Say hello to everyone, particularly to Dr. Weng
Fun.
the
Okay.
chief of the regional center. Thank
Okay,
you, my
we'll
dear.
forward the message. Thanks for doctor. Thanks for the director. Especially thanks for Dr. Abihami. You host all the sessions. I think it's horrible job.
No, really, you were always distinguished, and we have enjoyed your lectures, and we are looking forward for more and more workshop and presentation from your side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye for
goodbye.
everyone.
Goodbye.
Please be with us. 16th of June. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank
Welcome. Bye bye. Built or set up not only just for astronomy, it's just for analysis. They are trying to provide a lot of applications. Plus, what kind of applications should the GNSS provide it? Commonly, we think maybe cell phone, whatever, but actually there was a lot of GPS, GNSS applications around the world. Okay, so I will begin my lectures. I will share my screen. Okay, could you give me the permission to share the screen? Excuse me, could anybody give me my permission to share the screen?
Yeah, please wait a minute. Yes, please.
Okay, fine. Okay. So let's for the GNSS or maybe Bado applications. So I will show you in detail. So before that, we will talk about the status of current GNSS. Actually, now maybe when we talk about GNSS, we previously think about the GPS, but actually nowadays there was many satellites is above our head, including the GPS from United States, the GLONASS from Russia, and the Gagan current NAV-IC from India, the Bado from China, the Galileo from European Union, and the QGNSS from the Japan. Four of them, the GPS, GLONASS, Bado, and GLONASS are globally coverage satellite navigation system. And for the NAV-IC and the QGNSS is a local regionally augmentation system. So when you look in the sky, look above your sky, actually, according to our statistics, in the May, I think about 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah, 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks ago. Currently, you can see above your head there are 31 satellites, GPS satellites. Here I show you 31. There are 31 GPS satellites above your head, including some Block 2R, Block 2M, Block 2F, and Block 3. And in history, the GPS has launching 72 satellites in history. But some satellites was retired, some satellite was malfunction, and currently 31 above your head. And also for the GLONASS, now you can see about 27 GLONASS satellites above your head. And for Bado, totally there are 54 Bado satellites already launched, including some are experimental, some are testing, and now you can see 45 such Bado satellites above your head, on which there is, I think, 15 was Bado 2 and 27 was Bado 3. And for the Galileo, you can totally launching about 28 satellites. And now you can see about 24 satellites above your head. That include 2 of satellites called IOV, that in orbital vehicle test. This is for test. This one for test. This is for test. And for full function, is 22. So totally there was more than 100 GNSS satellite above your head. So I think it's a very precious resources for everybody, because you know that satellite is very expensive. But keep in mind that the GNSS satellite is a satellite you can freely use. So and not only one, you remember hundreds of them freely satellite. I think so. Try to find some interesting application based on GNSS is very important, because they are free resources. So when we talk about GNSS applications, probably you're thinking, I think about a cell phone, right? GNSS, I think cell phone, you use GPS, or maybe the device, maybe on airplane, on the ships for navigation. I think this is mainly traditional applications. And even when you turn on your cell phone, I think maybe 5 or 10 years early, you are using GPS. But now, when you open your cell phone, for example, this Huawei P20, when you open your cell phone, you can see this satellite is above your head. For example, this is, I have talked in the last session, this is the data we have sampled in the Singapore. You can find that here, you may see, above your head, there are 8 GPS satellites, there are 8 Galileo satellites, and 11 Bado satellites, and 1 QZSS from Japan. Maybe this satellite maybe in different places totally different, but I think roughly this is what you can see above your head. We have hundreds of satellites above your head around the Earth actually, but only about 1/30 of them can be above your head, because the other half or majority, maybe 2/3, is beneath the Earth, beneath the Earth. So 1/3 is above your head, 2/3 of them is beneath the Earth. Okay, so this is the satellite you can see, and then you can by the software you can show, for example, which satellite is you can be visible to you. For example, that this one. So keep in mind, is when you're using the GNSS applications, there were many satellites is serving you. And like soldier said, "Sir, I'm ready." You can freely use. So I think this is the critical resources. Let's move forward. For example, this is for the applications, including the 6 part. I will separate them into 2 days. The first day, I maybe 3 or 4 probably. I'm not sure about that. But the next day, I will do the remainings into 2 days. I will talking some interesting applications. The application is not only cell phone. There were many other interesting applications I will show you, including high precision for traffic or fleet management and public security, and machine control and precision agriculture, and COVID-19 prevention and control. Also using the Bado or GNSS technologies. Okay, so let's look for this from the application. So for the, I just use Bado as example. for the application is mainly depend on we call fundamental product. The fundamental product commonly, if you want to use the system, you need, for example, the chips. Okay, or maybe the models, or maybe antenna. This is the we call fundamental product. Only use these things you can using application of the GNSS. And some chips, for example, the chips in the cell phone, the GNSS function is integrated into the CPU, the processor of the cell phone. But some of them maybe was separated. For example, in a device, or in a board, or in a card, that chip is independent. So for example, the Bado and the GNSS chip has been used in large-scale applications, and currently it's about, as far as I know, it's at to the 28 nanometer technologies. It's quite high. For example, the CPU is 10 nanos, 15 nanos, but for the chips of the GNSS, approximately to be 28 nanometer technologies. So we know that if the feature size is shrinked, then the price will be reduced, and as well as the performance will be increased. Okay, so the cost will be compatible to some overseas product. So it's the upgrade from the basic product to a high-end industry. As our investigations, the sales volume of the domestically produced the BDS, the Bado navigation chips and models has been more than 17 million pieces. Okay, and also the cost of the chips is similar to be the first level of the class, world class. So by the chips, the Bado and the GNSS high precision product has exported to more than I think 19 countries and regions all over the world. So I think it's very important that not only I don't know if you're interested in GNSS, maybe you buy the product from Trimble. Also, China has a lot of companies, but Comnav, Olicstar, and Unicore, and some other, a lot of products is similar. So it's also widely used. So this is the fundamental product. And then by using these technologies, the Bado has been widely used in transportation and in agriculture, forestry, fishery, hydrological monitoring, meteorological forecasting and communication, and the power dispatching, mapping, and other fields. And actually, I think the GNSS technology has widely spreading into the every aspect of the economical and the social society and daily lives. If you're interested, you can access the Bado website, the government website. There was application cases of the Bado navigation satellite system was released in the December 2018. This document shows there are many kinds of application can use Bado or maybe GNSS technologies rather than your cell phone or maybe PND and such for navigations. There were much more activities can be used. For example, I just select some of them. For example, the first in the transportation area. Currently, the China currently has what we call the largest dynamic monitoring system of the road operating vehicles around the world. Why we say the largest one? Because the system can monitor about 6 million vehicles, mainly for business vehicles. Actually, in China, we call 3 different kinds of business vehicles. The first is the dangerous cargo vehicle. For if your vehicle was carrying dangerous cargo, then the cargo must be monitored. And the second type is the passenger vehicle across the province. For example, if the bus, the passenger bus, is from the province 1 to province 2. If any bus, commercial bus, across the province, then it must be monitored. And the second is the scheduled routine bus. For example, if every day there was a shuttle bus from place 1 to place 2, okay, so this kind of buses must also be monitored. So these 3 different kind of business vehicles, they must be monitored. The monitor that is to order, the government has ordered that any kind of these cars or vehicles must install a GNSS chip and report your position to the Department of Transportation. So after that, the government will know which car is at which position, and is any car go the different route. Is any car driving too long time without rest? If any car is running too high speed, for example, etc. So if the platform find any drivers doesn't obey the rule, then the government will automatically forbidden the driver. By using this by using this system, the number of the serious traffic accident and deaths has reduced by, I think, probably about 50%. So you think that the Ministry of the Transportation will monitor about these 6 million vehicles. They're looking for the status every day. And also there are about 3,200 inland river navigation facilities for the boat, and more than 2,900 maritime navigation facilities. For example, the boats, the device, whatever, they are be monitored, whatever in road, but also in the river. So all the cars, the ships, the buses, they will report their position automatically to the government. Actually, I think it's 2 stages. First to the company, and the company to the government. Not the government directly gather all the information. Further to company, and company to the government. And then I think probably at only about 1 minute's delay, that make the passenger to be more safe, that the bus to be more safe. This is for the transportation. And the second type of location is called fishery. Currently, it's mainly for the for the fishery, the sea boat out of the sea, they catch the fish. Currently, there were more than 17,000 ships has connected by the GNSS. That means every ship will report their status, including the position and their information automatically to the company and to the government. And by this system, also the government or maybe the companies can also send these ships different kind of information. For example, you can send SOS, or maybe from the fishermen to the government, or the government may send some weather forecast information to the ships if the typhoon was come, to let the ships evacuate or whatever to withdraw to back to the harbor, something like that. According to our statistics, more than 70,000 ships have been connected, and I think more than 10,000 people has been helped by the system. I will talk in detail a little bit later. And for public safety, especially for the police, actually every police has a terminal that has automatically connected with a police location service platform. So the commander will be very easy to know if the police was out duty. They were easy to know where are the police, and also the police with the inside the terminal, they have navigation function. It provides real-time, dynamic perception of the police resources, and it can make the commander to rapid dispatch and assemble of to integrate them, and also it plays a very important role in the security of the major events, and also it effectively improves the responding speeds and the law information efficiency, and for public safety. Not only, and that is not for military. I just mentioned about police. The police officers has equipment that has the GNSS function inside their terminal. When they are on duty, there was a camera together with the location service automatically transmit back to the headquarters. So it provides a public safety function by the assistance of the GNSS technology. And let's do in detail. For example, when you're in the aviation, so in order to meet the needs of the increasing air transportation, so and also to adapt to the expansion of the speed of the new aircraft courses, and also to overcome the limitations of the land-based air traffic management system. So the ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, they are trying to implement a new air traffic management system based on satellite navigation, satellite communication, and the data communication technologies. Okay, actually traditional, when our airplane was landing, they are using a traditional, the VOR and DME, the traditional radio navigation technologies for them if the airplane was landing. And nowadays, the new navigation system, I think, start from begin to use in 2005. The new system provide the position inside of, for example, the VOR, DME, the traditional radio navigation technologies. So they involved satellite navigation technologies inside it. That is because the GNSS system, for example, the GPS, was adopted by the ICAO. So that means ICAO said, okay, the GNSS is very secure and good performance. So they accepted the GNSS as a navigation methodology to the airplanes. So they begin to replace the system, the new navigation system, by using the GNSS. For now, the GNSS the GNSS is widely used in the aviation. So every airplanes install the GNSS. For example, I show some pictures. So this is the navigation devices. This is navigation devices. Okay, this is in the airplane.
Dr. Jin, please share again the slides. Now stop sharing.
Okay, any problem?
We don't see your slides.
You don't see my slide?
Yeah.
Okay, I will share again. Is the time okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just talk about in the aviation. We have a lot of devices that is using the GNSS inside of traditional radio navigation technologies. And the new navigation system is widely used since about year 2010. They just replaced the traditional navigation methodologies. And also the GNSS application in the maritime. So the application of the satellite navigation in the maritime include navigation, rescue, and the port operation. The application used since about 1992 in February. The IMO has implemented the global marine distress and safety system worldwide, which using EMASAT satellite to improve the maritime distress and the safety communication. And now the device is also gradually involved with GPS or GNSS technologies. And in the traffic monitor, with them every vehicles or ship monitor and scheduling, the GNSS mobile target monitor system will be used to transfer the GNSS position data. Commonly, they have a GNSS devices. Okay, this is the GNSS devices, and plus a radio, a communication link, and then by these two things, one for position and one for sending the information back. But the Bado, the BDS provide navigation function and radio function at the same time. So the Bado satellite can provide you service, but it can also act as an communication satellite at the same time. So I want to say that if you're using things both, if you use it both, if you're using BDS, then GNSS and radio will be work at the same time. But if you're using GPS, you need to additional, for example, the fourth generation communication or the second generation communication, whatever, another communication link. So in the traffic monitor, we have the GNSS commonly plus a radio system to provide the traffic systems. And also in the object tracking, for example, the human and animal trackings. So it's kind of application of for human and animal tracking facilities can monitor the adults, the children, and other special group that need to be protected. That kind of device can get information and track and habits of among the people, animals in real time, and also send back to the system. And the last part is about the applications in the personal navigation devices. This kind of, for example, the PND, the vehicle navigation systems, also sometimes it's the cell phone. This is the personal navigation devices and customer devices. So I will show you what's the performance. What is the performance of the GNSS applications, and the what performance is about the high accuracy. I just use the Bado as example. You may see in this picture. You may see in the picture the yellow dots. I don't know, see yellow dot or not here. Yellow dots. I see yellow dots. Yellow dots here. This is without augmentation. Augmentation. And this red one, this is with augmentation. So you may see if you want to have the more accurate of the GNSS systems, you can set up an augmentation system. Why we need such kind of system? I just use a very brief thing. For example, if this is satellite, if the information is sending to you, because there has ionosphere, or maybe troposphere, or maybe they have the clock error, and then maybe if ephemeris error for the space, from space, there are lots of error in the space systems. But if we have a base station, if they know, if this station can make measurements of these errors from the satellite, and they send this information to you, we call it correction data. If you know the correction data, you can eliminate these errors. And then you have the high accuracy. Roughly, this error is 5 meter to 10 meter, and this is you can be achieved about 1 meter, about 1 meter, from 5 to 10 meter to 1 meter. If you have augmentation station. So let's turn back. So you may see this in this picture by the augmentation system. By using augmentation system, the accuracy is much more improved. This can let your car drive in the lane, not just flow left and right. So just keep in mind, we can have higher accuracy. The high accuracy from about 1 meter. For dynamic object, for cars, and if for stationary object, you can use long time to make average by RTK technologies. Then you can achieve for centimeter or millimeter accuracy level. And also the Bado can be used in industry by the boat manager and the disaster relief process. We can have a case study. For example, if in this case, how we can do the boat management and the disaster relief by the procedures. So for example, if there was a ship, they have a problem, then they can send in SOS information to the satellite. The Bado satellite has the function of navigation plus communication. So when the Bado satellite receives this information, it will forward your information to the satellite ground station. Then the station will tell you the service center. And the service center then informed you have a problem and trying to do the rescue. Then the rescue will tell the rescue orders and sending back to the nearby ship in the normal condition. Then these ships can come and help the ship in the distress. So if any ship has a problem, and if you know, a lot of fishermen's ship is not so good. It's not like the very luxury ships. They have limited resources, limited communication devices. But if in the install Bado system, they just press an SOS, then nearby ship will be automatically informed. You don't need to hold on the radio to say SOS, Mayday, Mayday. No, you just send the SOS. Automatically, the remaining procedure will be done automatically. So this is how the Bado-based boat management can be used. But if you're using for example, the GPS satellite or the Galileo satellite system, then you need to have an additional communication link, for example, EMSAT or whatever other communication link from the ship to the ground station. But the Bado, because they have the RNS has a communication function, so this information can be forwarded directly without any other assistance. Let's look in a case. For example, let's say a case for this situation. For example, on the 2016 October, there was a fishing boat sunk in the waters in the Hainan province. Then the crew member sent a SOS message instantly through the Bado navigation satellite system. After that, the commander center immediately sent a rescue order to the old ship with inside the 50 nautical miles of this boat, because automatically, because they know that the center know which ship is nearby to you. They were sending this information automatically to the nearby boat. Thanks to the timely rescue efforts, all these 13 crew members was then successfully rescued. It's just sending a very short SOS message, and then all the ship nearby will come to help them. And the second case about for the fishermen, I think that this situation is, for example, a lot of Arab countries also have seas, so a lot of fishermen as well. I think this methodology can be also be applied in other countries. For this case is for the typhoon. For the typhoon, for example, there was a tropical depression in the southern China Sea. So, for example, you'll see here. I think it's here. Here, is it here? Yeah. So, by the climate forecast, the commander center find that there was maybe typhoon or maybe tropical some weathers. Then the commander center instantly sent a warning message to all the fishing boats and asking them to return to the port as quickly as possible. I think, for example, if a fisherman maybe they come out for fish, but they don't know the accurate climate information, and maybe they don't notice, but maybe suddenly there was storm, or suddenly there was a typhoon nearby. So then the captains was steering. By using this information, there will be broadcast to you automatically. So then the captain can steer the boat out of the dangerous zone immediately after receiving the message. Maybe you don't notice, you focus on your fish, but if you got this information and then it was turned back and stand its position to the onshore commander center. Commonly, every 10 minutes, for example, if you move every 10 minutes, it will update your position. So after about 15 hours, it turned back. So by using this technology, the accident so it was then avoided by using the forecast information, because the Bado satellite system have a capacity to broadcast, because the communication as well as the navigation system. So the information is broadcasting to all the fish, all the fishing boat nearby the bad weather. Then you can evacuate all the ships. And also, for example, this one, for the case 3, the next cases I will show you is there was for the rescue. For example, this is the Chinese Marine Police boat 3411, which the support of the Bado systems is successfully finishing its mission of continually searching for about 140 hours and sailing for 1,500 sea miles and search a sea area of 7,000 square kilometers. So this show how they are searching this picture. So they take a monitor of the police boat to routine how to tell them where something was wrong, and they go to the different places for checking. So you know that the Chinese fishermen, there was a fishing border, fishery border in the sea. For example, they will tell you. For example, China is called Korean. They have the border. For example, the Chinese fishermen can only fishing at this area, cannot cross this line, and as well as Korean fisher cannot cross the line too. But you know, in the seas, it's very hard to find like a border, at the land border. So they are using the Bado systems. If you across the border, come to the place you should not enter, then there will be a monitor by the BDS. They will tell back the commander center of your board had passed through the boundary, and that they try to call them back. So that also to avoid, and there was the conflict between the borders of the fishermen. So I think this is kind of some of the fishery applications by using the BDS technologies. Also, for this kind, forest fire prevention. Okay, so it's kind of applications to we call disaster relief operations. For example, in this case, they will send the current position of the firefighters, vehicles, helicopters to fire commander centers. So you may see the car, the fire vehicles. They have the Bado devices. I will show you here. The Bado devices on its head. So in the commander centers, they will show what's your position on the map to see all your cars and your firefighters at what kind of position. They will monitor your position, and they will report and to check whether which place has a fire, which place don't have fire. It makes you easy to try to relieve the disaster. And also for some earthquake rescue. I think the Bado system is firstly used. It was in the Wenchuan earthquake. After the earthquake happened, commonly the ground communication network will be all destroyed, and that no one can send any information out. But the Bado is the device is using for satellite. No power and no communication. So in the Wenchuan earthquake, it happened about 12 years ago in the 2008, and that the soldiers carried with the Bado device. They're just sending the information to the headquarters. They tell them the headquarters that what's the location I'm in. So the Bado can be used to report the disaster situation and to the commander center for the disaster evaluation and disaster rating for the product and rescue plans. And also it can be used by the commander center to get the location of the rescue workers and the rescue vehicles, to dispatch them, to coordinate the work of the different rescue teams, to report the injuries and to report the team members about their locations, to gather all the information. So actually you may see what they are using in their hand. It's a the Bado terminal in their hand. Let me see, Bado terminal in their hand. Okay, so in earthquake rescue, this terminal is very flexible because almost every soldier has one in their hand, and it provides the capability to communicate and the location for themselves. And this is for applications in the meteorological disaster relief. For example, the flood and the snowstorm, etc. After some series of flood and snowstorm to hit this region, the BDS can use to provide communication service for the most effect areas and command center to help them to keep in touch. For example, in the flood, if your soldier was out, it's very easy to lose contact because no cell phone, no communication. So they also need a position device. So by carry this one, when the device was make position, they were automatically sending your position information to the headquarters, and then so you will get all the status of the methodology. Meteorological disaster. And also the Bado can be used as a remotely monitor for the wind spread, for the temperature, the humidity, the pressure, wave, hydrology, and the precipitation, etc. of the remote areas. As for example, we place this one. Oh, okay. We place some devices near the sea. For example, this device near the sea, to monitor the typhoon and to monitor the weather by the GNSS technologies. I think this technology will be introduced by Professor Yang, maybe in the next several days. He also have special lectures about the GNSS remote sensing technologies. So it's actually an early warning report can help them to greatly reduce the loss before the disaster. For example, by using this device, by the GNSS remote sensing technologies, we can monitor some satellites. For example, if you want to have a satellite, it will be very expensive. But if you put the GNSS system near the seashore, you can use it to track the wind, the sea levels, the sea wind, and industrial informations by the GNSS technologies. So you can evacuate for the how much is the disaster will be, and how much the typhoon is moved, to provide early warning systems. Okay, so we can take a few minute break because we'll then move to the next sessions. In the first session, I will just briefly talk about what kind of new applications can be used by the Bado and GNSS technologies. And during the break, if anyone has questions, please raise your hand or maybe leave in the chat. Okay.
Yeah. Please, if anybody wants to ask a question, please raise your hands. Dr. Marwan Qadamani wants to ask. Please, Dr. Marwan.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your presentation.
Welcome.
And also for GNSS for using for measurement of the active faults, you know, in Rift Valley in Syria and Jordan. Also for fishing by using satellite Seastar for fishing from space in coordination with the GPS.
Great, perfect. So we in China we have many ships. You know, we have mentioned about 70,000 fishing boats installed in the GNSS. The China government has ordered all the fishing boats to the deep sea must install these devices, or else they will not give you license. They will not give you license because they will be too dangerous. You know that we can use the license, for example, if it's for the transportation, for the dangerous cargo. If you always carry dangerous cargo, okay, then you must install this device. If you don't install, they will not let you register as a dangerous cargo vehicles. But then if they monitor the overspeed, you also go different routines as the pre-design. Maybe you have some other problems, they can cancel your register. Okay, so if you only drive safely, then they give you a license, because all your movements is under their systems. So as the colleagues from the Department of the Transportation tell me that by before and after using this system, the accident reduced about 50%. 50% before and after this system. I think it's similar as the fishing boat. Thank you for information.
Thank you very much.
Any question, please? Then we can move to the second session, please.
Okay, so then we'll move to the second precision. So we were talking about the second part is about high precision applications. So high precision applications, including, for example, land surveying, the traffic management, the public security, and machine controls. Briefly, sorry, the Bado and GNSS application on the surveying, commonly when you find if a lot of people build the roads or maybe bridge, they have some devices like this one. I don't know whether you're familiar with that or not. It's not cell phone. It's not cell phone. It's kind of surveying devices with GIS devices. Put in your hand, and they will use it to check for the different point surveying, for example, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, and our maps. For example, when the maps, you have different roads, turn left and turn right, and each road, each point was measured first by, we call this GIS devices, the GIS devices. So it's using the GNSS technologies, and they were make a fix, and then get a high accuracy results. For example, the traditional GNSS, the accuracy is about, about 5 meters. We can reduce to about 1 meters by using the call station or maybe correction data. But if you want to still to increase the performance, then what you need to do is do the long-term measurements. For example, I just give you an example. Let's draw the picture again. For example, if this is a satellite, for example, if you make measurements by the device, so because each satellite, because you are measuring the distance between you and the satellite, and you are also measuring the distance between you and the satellite. The first way is by code measurements, because you are matching the code like chips. We call the PRN code, and each code chip about this lines, each code chip here, this one is about 300 meters each code length. So the accuracy about it is about 1% or maybe 0.5 to 1%. So that gives you about 1 meter to 3 meter accuracy. This is the traditional code measurement. The second way is use carrier methodology by the wave. So, and that means the first is by the code. The code here. You can use code to measure the distance between satellites. The second way is use the sine wave, the radio wave, to make measurements of the satellite. By the carrier wave, so each cycle of the carrier wave, this is about I think 19.5 centimeter. You can roughly think it's about 20 centimeter. So the accuracy is about 1%, means, and if you measure by the carrier, you can have the accuracy about 2 millimeter accuracy. But you need a very long time average because the noise is very large. So because, for example, this is a noisy value you will get. What you do is make the average on it, to reduce the error to as few as possible. And commonly, if you're using the GPS L1 only, probably you will get about maybe 1 minute to 2 minutes measurements to get an accurate position at about maybe 1 centimeters or maybe 2 centimeters or maybe half centimeters. If you make measurements continuously for 1 or 2 minutes, then you will get a very high accuracy at meter level, centimeter level. So if you want to get the result every second, if you want the result to be, oh my God, if you want to be every second, you can use code, then you will get the accuracy about 1 meter. If you need, for example, if you need to do with about 1 second, you use code to be 1 meter. If you using for sorry, there was a message. If you using for 1 minute coverage, then after every second After 5 seconds, you will get what we call RTK results, commonly about 1 centimeter accuracy. So this is for stationary, and this is 1 second. We call it for by the code for about 1 meter, and this is can be used for car mainly. So this is the difference. So in the surveying, what you need to do is do the long time average. So this is why when you see the workers to build, construct bridge, construct roads, they set up a device and hold them for several minutes. They just not just get one position very quickly. They just hold this device for a long time, a few minutes, and then to the next point a few minutes. Finally, they do a surveying, maybe for a whole day, only with several points because they need a long-term average. So this is application on the surveying. So for example, I say this is some pictures for the surveying and the measurement by the device, by this kind of device, so for example, when they construct the railway, they are using the device, this device is GNSS device, to track and measurements for the railway, whether it's flat or whether it has slope, to have a precise railway track, and also for the bridge deformation. If the bridge has some deformation, I will talk a little bit later, they can censor it. They can know whether the bridge has problem or not. And also, for the hydrogen dams, for example, the dam has some deformation. If it will be dangerous, and then we can inform the people nearby early if the dam has transformed any deformations. As our experiment, we have set up such kind of system with other province to set up a lot of application for the dam monitoring. They have if the dam has slightly changed, they will inform the government very quickly. I'll show you a picture, and this is we call the human bridge in the Guangdong province. This is the picture. This is the picture of the human bridge, very long bridge. You may see in this picture the bridge, but this bridge has a slightly problem because I will show the video for this is a video. Let me see. I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see the video?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So you'll be fine in the video. You may see that the bridge is frustrated, right? I will show again. You can. The bridge is frustrated because. Okay, when the government find the bridge is dangerous, has some deformations, then they quickly shut down the bridge, and then they analyze the reason. I think probably it's talk because of they set up a lot of barriers here, and this barrier affected the wind and make the wind to be some kind of vortex, and then make the bridge frustrated. That's the reason. I will show you more picture. Okay, this is the more long-term picture. This is in the day, and in the night, it frustrated again. You can see the frustration of the bridge. It slightly move. deformation due to the wind. It's fluctuated again. About 1 hour later, half an hour later, the fluctuation stopped. Okay, so this is what I want to show you. That is the bridge. There was a bridge in the Guangdong province, and they have because the bridge, the main bridge has a deformation monitoring system, and by the system, the government will quickly know, oh, there was a bridge, there was a problem, and then they can solve this problem. And now this bridge, the reason has fine because of they set up a lot of barrier and remove the barrier and check the main structure of the bridge is not damaged, and then they continue. The bridge is still available and safety. This is application of the GNSS technologies. Okay, and this one is about the deformation monitor. As I said, you can use it for landslide, for the dam bridge, for the high tower, etc. Actually, all the devices they place a lot of the devices, monitor devices near the land side and in the dam or bridge or tower, and then this we call beacon will monitor any deformation information, and if there was something wrong, they will automatically send the information back to the headquarters, and then they will the government or maybe companies will know the information. For example, this is used to monitor whether they will have the landslide, because these rocks maybe will fall down. If a lot of something fall down, there will landslide. They will be very dangerous, and this is the station in the we call Changheba, the hydrogen power station slope. You may see they had set up a lot of stations here, like this one at this place here. Okay, here. This is being set up here. So that means if they have a slope, rocks move down, they will be dangerous. So there will, if the slope, we call slope monitoring project. If this anything happen nearby, we can use the high precision GNSS technologies to solve this problem. This is the high precision applications. Also, the Changheba hydrogen station project, they're located in the Sichuan province, and the monitor port was very hard to work with GNSS because there was very few satellites. You may see here in this here. If you place station here, if you are here or maybe here, because the sky is not clear. So a lot of satellite was covered. So the traditional way is with the GPS will not work. So with GLONASS it's now work well. Actually, when you're using the Bado plus GPS, this kind of GNSS, the system is very good. So because the Bado has many satellites and the GPS has many satellites, the GLONASS satellite is not so good. So now when you're using the Bado satellite plus the GPS satellite together, we can solve the problem of the station slope mounting project. It's quite challenging because the monitoring point was inside the Karen, inside near the river, inside the Karen. So only you can see only a few satellites above your head. Okay, we can show you a picture that you can see the position monitor point change during the last 26 days. You may see here. I will show you. Whether you may see there was a deformation. We call it D in the millimeter. So that means after 26 days, the beacon has moved slightly moved for nearly 20 centimeter. Okay, this is quite big. This is quite big, and in the Y, they moved for about nearly about 120 centimeters, and in the height, they has moved for nearly about 88 centimeters during the last 28 days. So that means actually you can imagination that means that is slightly moved down during last 20 days. They are almost 1 meter apart from its original point. So it is quite dangerous if it still move down. It will be very dangerous. So also it's from BD Star Corporation. There was a subsidence monitor system at the Macau International Airports. So to check the airports it's good or not. So the Bado real-time substantial monitoring systems, they check for the ground, whether the ground is down or ground is flat. So they was build an open ocean reclaimable area. So the substantial monitoring system is critical to the airport's daily operations. So they have set up the 4 sites of high precision, the Bado satellite navigation system receiver to corresponding managed systems. By using this one, they can track whether the ground, because the people use a lot of water to retract a lot of water beneath under the ground. So the ground will gradually go down. So if the gradually is go down very much, it will be very dangerous for the airplane landing. So by using these technologies, by the GNSS Procession GNSS, we can let the people know how much is the ground changing. So it's use a subsistence monitoring system. Also, there was a called a tail pod. Tailing pod is, for example, in this picture you can see in the mining. There was a lot of mining. I don't know how to tell it. It's in the mining. There was a lot of the things was in the tailing pond. That is the remainings that is not used. People just put something that is not used. The end of the mining into a special plane. Sometimes it's very big, very large area. In China, there was many accidents by the tailing pond because if they put it put here something fine, but sometimes suddenly it will be collapsed. The people don't not sure about when it will be collapsed and early warning systems. So this one is just put a lot of monitoring spot. For example, here, that monitor spots to check whether there has some deformation in the tailing pod, and if there was some substantial change in the structure of the pond, they can give early warning to the people nearby. And also, this is deformation monitoring in the iron mine slope. For example, this is the iron mine. The people were installing the GNSS devices here, and also devices here. They were sending information back. So if they were easy to collapse, this one will be easy to collapse because people mining this region. They're mining iron mines. But if they mine every iron out, then this will be very easy to slope. So people just monitor to the system to avoid the slope happen. So this is the high precision applications. Also in the dam, you know that in China there are very big dam called the Three Gorge Dam. Actually, the people use it to monitor whether they have the system, the dam has deformation. We have GNSS receiver here. And by using the receiver, we have the antenna here. By using it to check whether dam has deformation, is the dam in danger status, then by using these technologies, we can do the deformation monitor. And also, as I mentioned before, the monitor of the Huangpu Bridge over the Pearl River, as well other rivers. All the bridge was monitored. And also there was also the monitor system of the freeway slopes. For example, there were highway, but nearby, you know, some highway was just passed through a slope. So we place a lot of monitor station in the slope to avoid something has problem. For example, some stones or some dangerous things was flow down to the freeway. Maybe it's dangerous, but we put a lot of monitor stations like this one. This is the GNSS monitor stations here, and to check whether there will be the dangerous things will be happen or not. Okay, I will show a picture for you. This is a slope prediction. We can see the videos here. You can see that one. At first, let me say it's a camera. Can you see here? What's happened? you may see a lot of stones collapse. This is a monitor, real monitor kept by camera. This is what happened in the 5 a.m. In the midnight. Let me see a lot of dirt, stones collapsed. 2 minutes. Then suddenly all the things were collapsed. By the camera. So this system was a kind of we call slope prediction. Slope prediction. It is kind of system. So you may see from this picture, you may see people are always monitor this one. For example, you see the blue line. The blue line. This blue line is how much. Blue line is how much the movements. And the right one is data of the movement rate. So suddenly it has great movement, a very big movement. So by this curve, you can find on the blue ones, you mean it's a slightly increased. It's slightly increased in the movements. Let me see here, slightly increased in the movement. Okay, by using this system, movements have the early warning. They just use WeChat as wrong. They just checking. The Chinese character said oh, there was worrying about system is gradually increased. The government said, okay, I saw that. Do you need to have them? Oh, so no, it's too dangerous, something like that. Please check. Take care of the civilians, some villagers, something like that. And then in the yellow warning system sending yellow warning at several message. They send a lot of message during 17 o'clock to 23 o'clock. Then they sending the information about yellow alert. It's about I think probably about this area for yellow. In this stage, it said there was gradually movements was speedy. So there's a yellow alert. They tell you how much the dangerous is. And in the midnight from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., I think probably this region, they are sending the information with red alert. All this information is sending to the users by the short message automatically by the early warning system. So by use this early warning system, in the midnight, the government tell all the villagers to evacuate as fast as possible. So in the midnight, all the villagers was evacuated, and no one was injured in this slope accident. So it's a very good slope prediction cases, and this is what happened just in the last year in the 2019 successfully early warning. Even this slope was happen at midnight, but people still get knowledge early prior to that to prevent the accident happen. So this is a kind of high precision applications. They're just sending the information very timely. Also, it can used high precision can use for digital cities, mapping the digital cities. They can gather all the information from the surveying technologies to make the things become digital. All the maps, maybe 3D models of the city, or maybe the Gs, the remote sensing data, and then both need the GNSS to calibrate to provide the accuracy position information, and then you can get a very accuracy position, and you use the land surveying to get the digital city up. So also by using the all pipeline maintenance, by the power line checking, and the forecast pest control, the crop productions, you can also use such kind of high precision application. I will not mention one by one, but the land and the resource management is depend on the high precision GIS application greatly. Also the construction surveying, but the bridge, the railway, the infrastructure construction, you just need and for slope monitoring, bridge deformation, hydro dam monitoring, etc. For example, in the construction, I give one example for
Dr. Tian, we lose your voice. Dr. Tian, you hear us? Please wait a minute, because Dr. Tian has a problem in the net. He's getting back. Dr. Jen, hello again. Dr. Jen? We are waiting for Mr. Jen, Dr. Jen, to get back again. Yeah, we see that Dr. Jen gets back again. He got back again. We'll come back again, Dr. Jen. Hello again, Dr. Jen. Please restart your slide sharing again. Dr. Jen, do you hear us? Hello. If you still have a problem, please sign out and then in again. Yeah, he's entering again. Yeah, hello, Dr. Jen.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I will share again.
Yeah. Just share your screen again, please.
Okay, please give me my permission. Please give me sharing permission. Give me a permission.
You are permitted. Just please.
Okay.
What's coming, please. Please talk.
Okay, can you please give me a permission? I can hear everybody. Okay, I just talk about when the Kuwait's National Bank was building. They are using the GNSS. And
You are very limited.
Okay, I get the permission. Okay, then when the building was construction, they are using the Bado and the GNSS technologies. When they set for each floor, they have some the equipment to check whether the bridge, whether the building was straight or not, or maybe not them to collapse. So you may find they have a lot of devices, GNSS devices, in the building. So that means high precision applications is very widely used in a lot of area in our social life. So for example, also in the GIS data acquisition for the mobile, the GIS platform, and high precision measurements. Okay, especially I want to talk just in today, in the I think 11 o'clock today. 11 o'clock today, they have set up a surveying devices. GNSS surveying devices was set up on the Mount Everest. 6 people from China that carry the GNSS devices, and they climb up to the Mount Everest in this. I think this morning. I think in the 11 a.m. in Beijing time. I think in the 6 a.m. in the Jordan time. They set up. They have put that equipment in the mountain Everest. They have set up the equipment to the top of the mountain and to use it to measure again for the detailed height of the highest mountain. I think the results probably will be published about maybe 2 or 3 months later after the calculation. They will get a very accurate height of the mountain. Okay, so this is a high precision applications. Okay, so what's the time? Okay, so The remaining I will talk in the next day, okay? For the remaining parts, for the traffic, fleet management, and etc. I will talk in the next day in the same time. So, but if you have any questions, please raise your hand or send to the WeChat. Sorry, I just see somebody write message to me, but due to I reboot, so I cannot see the message. Please.
There's two questions in the chat window.
Yeah, because I just reboot, I lose all the chat message. If you please send again, if it's in the chat message.
Engineer Bahjat asks, he wants to ask high precision application in micro geodesy and establish a new accurate datum and accurate new geoid.
In the new geo ID, I mean that the high accuracy.
Yeah, I will send it again for you to read it. Yeah, you can read it now.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. I think so. I want to ask. Yes. I think the question is definitely yes, because with more accurate measurements, our geodesy will call datum is always evolving. You know that because in early years, the datum is involved every year or maybe every 2 years, people have a new datums. But nowadays, I think for example the Chinese datum is not involved for almost 20 years. They don't make only a few corrections. The accuracy of the datum for about 50 years early accuracy is at meter level, and nowadays the datum accuracy can be achieved to centimeter level, or maybe less than 1 centimeter level. So they just have better, I think, better datum to generate a new GeoID. But nowadays, I think the GeoID will be generated more and fewer because people know more clearly know about the Earth information by the precision measurement technologies. Oh, where is the chat? Okay. The weather station connect to satellite directly. So sorry, I don't know what is the weather station mean. Weather station connect to satellite. What is a weather station? Could you make a clarification about the weather station? It's
the station that uses for weather forecasting. Are they connected directly to the satellite, the ground station?
I think the weather station. I think there are two kinds of weather station. The first is the weather station that connected to satellite, that to gather the information from the satellite and to receive the data from a satellite. I think this is a satellite weather station. And the second kind of weather station is to monitor some ground facilities. For example, the wind, and for the hemimetry, etc. So this kind of weather station are connected to the ground. So I'm not sure about the question about the weather station. What do you mean? But I think probably there are two kinds of weather stations will be better. The one for receiving information from the satellite, and the other one is receiving information from the ground. For example, the GNSS remote sensing technologies, and this ground station actually this ground station, this weather station will connect it to a ground facility that receive the GNSS satellite. I'm not sure about the questions. Is that clear or not?
Yeah. Is there more questions? Please raise your hands if you have any question. I see that Faris Bani Chris want to ask a question, please, Faris. Just we need to unmute him. Faris.
Yes. Hello, everybody, and
Hello,
thank
Faris.
you, Dr. Ibrahim, for your efforts, and thank you for Dr. Aouni Khassaouni for his efforts in gathering us together and having such an informative lecture. And I would like to thank Mr. Tian Jin for his elaboration on a very important topic. And in this case, I would like to ask Mr. Tian Jin a question. And my question might not be as technical as it sounds. It's more a legal nature question in this case. We know now that the provisions of global navigation services is based on national laws of the countries that possess such systems.
Yes.
To my knowledge, there's no core international convention that regulates the global satellite navigation.
Yes.
And the necessity, I believe, for developing such a treaty would be well recognized by all involved parties. And we do also, in the same times, but it's true that we do not have a convention at the moment, but we do have principles that have become, we can say, a de facto international legal practice in relation to GNSS operations. For example, countries using such systems would imply provisions of standard precision services on a non-discriminatory basis, on a non-discriminatory and a free basis in this case. But there is actually one thing missing, which is the legal liability of using global satellite navigation. We do not have clear route on how actually damages should be paid in case we have damages done by an operation, by a certain GNSS operation. Let's say, for example, negligent performance. Now, in this case, I have a question in this case. Since global satellite navigation systems are regulated by national laws at most, we also have the, under international or under space law, we have the Convention on International Liability for Damages caused by space objects, okay? So in this case, let's say, for instance, when there is a damage caused as a result of using high precision navigation applications, as you have mentioned, Dr. Jin, if we have damages caused by such use, what do countries actually refer to? Do they refer to their national laws in order to give out compensations to the injured party? Or would they actually refer to the Convention on International Liability for Damages caused by space objects? Since global satellite navigations, they use objects which are considered, which are regulated, but they are actually considered space objects in this case. Thank you very much.
Okay, a very good question. It's a very complicated question. I think first, the GNSS satellite is manufactured and must obey the law of different countries, but also it has actually a coordinate mechanism, I think, between the nations under the framework of the United Nations, because the United Nations under the UNWUSA, the United Nations of Outer Space Agency, so under the negotiation between this one, they have special, for example, the ICG group, they have a negotiation mechanism to coordinate the different four major navigation providers to coordinate with each other. The first question for the space law. So actually, even you have your national law on the GNSS, but also you must obey the space law initiated by the UN. That is the first one. The second, about the damage, actually, I cannot recall what kind of damage probably can the GNSS provided, but I think mainly the problem is not because of the GNSS itself, but because of the user. For example, or maybe the manufacturer. So actually, when you make a receiver or make a high precision systems, you must consider the problem may caused by the GNSS. For example, the GNSS may have bias, they may have the inaccurate problem. You must make consideration of all these possible problems, potential problems in your system. So if you will be damaged by the product of the GNSS, for example, the project, or maybe the board, or maybe chips, I think it's mainly the you should find the reason is because of the product, not because of the satellite system, because the satellite system maybe have errors, but the device must consider it. Is that okay?
Dr. Jen, let me remind you that we will have a special course in space law in 15.
Yeah.
Dr. Aisha from BISCO will provide us with this course, 15th of June.
Okay.
Nearly
oh, really? Great. That's great. That's great.
Will be in space law.
For space law, right? That's great. And also we have another question is, can we have the permission to using the communication link for sending SOS? I think currently the SOS permission is for mainland China, and as I heard, they are deploying to Asian Pacific region very soon, but depend on their announcement. And the next question is how much data can be sent through the GIS satellite on the fishery and the transportation usage. For the first, if you're using the Bado communication link, so every minute you are sending about 70 characters. Every minute 70 characters. But if you're using other link, so depend on the, for example, Emansat or maybe Starlinks for future, that depends on the price you pay. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Jen. If there's any more question?
Okay, if no questions, thank everybody for the listening.
Dr. Only, please, can you conclude our session? Or? Mr. Doctor.
Yes, Dr. Shan, we thank you very much. We have all
welcome.
It was a very impressive lecture, and the presentation was unique and distinguished. We are always looking forward to read more and more presentations and courses from your side. Thank you, my dear. And I think there are many questions can be asked from different participants.
Dr. Jen, do you hear him?
Yeah.
Thank you, and see you tomorrow. We'll continue our presentation and this workshop. And goodbye.
Goodbye. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.